Alright everybody, this is start of part 2 of the Interstellar Ranger build. I have the Ranger down in my spray booth. This is Sunday afternoon, December 20th. What I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be light blocking the inside of the Ranger. I'll hit it with some primer and then hit it with some flat black. Same for the bottom piece here. Also going to do the cockpit here. I'm going to hit it with some primer. I picked 3 astronauts that I'm going to hit with some primer. I don't know if I'm going to get all 3 of them in here. I may modify this. I may cut this off the back here and lengthen the floor and put this in the back. I thought about that first before I hit it with some primer, but I'm going to go ahead and do that first because that'll be just minor work on this if I extend the cockpit, but for right now I'm going to leave it like it is. I'm using acrylics, Model Master acrylic number 4680, just your standard gray primer. For the light blocking I'm going to use Tamiya Flat Black XF-1, and then I'm going to use the adhesion promoter on the outside of the Ranger. I'll spray it on, let it dry for a few minutes, and I'll hit it with some primer. I'm going to do that with all the parts today. There's not too many parts to this kit. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I'm going to be mixing up the gray primer, and then I'll use my thinner if I have to, which I usually do. I'll thin it out a little bit, and then I'll apply it to the Ranger. Once I'm all done with that, I'll film it. So I'll go ahead and start working on this. Figured I'd share this with everybody, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger. I primered it and light blocked it. Primer turned out really nice. Light blocked the inside. That turned out really decent. Same with the bottom. Primered the bottom. Then I light blocked the inside. Over here I did the 3 astronauts. They turned out pretty decent. Primered them up. The cockpit is finished. I hit that with a couple coats of primer. It turned out pretty decent. And then I got all the parts. This is actually a small Ranger right here. It comes with the kit. It's 1/44 scale. I painted that all up, primered it. Same with these parts here. This looks like that's a part that goes on the bottom, and then this goes on top of the Ranger. More parts. I didn't touch the engines because I got to figure out what I'm going to do with lighting them up. And then the final tree here. That's the hatch in the back of the Ranger. Landing gear and other parts. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap on what I've been doing today, light blocking and primering it. I'll take this upstairs here in a little while and get a better closer look at it. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger. This is the cockpit that I'm going to be using for the Ranger. Last weekend I took it down to the spray booth and I primered it up. I will modify this a little bit. I took the back off right here. I have a piece ready to extend the floor and put this on the back. I may try to light the back panel here as well. But that's my idea that I'm going to have for putting this in the Interstellar Ranger. Once I glue these pieces together, I'm going to have to clean them up and like I said, take it down to the spray booth tomorrow and hit it with another coat of primer and let that sit for a little while. And then I'm going to use gloss black Model Master number 4695. I'm going to paint this a gloss black. I can always dull the color down, but that's my main coat of paint over the primer I'm going to use is this gloss black. So I'm going to work on this tonight, see how it turns out, and put it in the Ranger and see if everything fits. This fits fine in the Ranger, so extending the floor shouldn't hurt it any. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on this. Figured I'd share this with everybody, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger. I hit the astronauts with some light. I'm going to have to hit them a couple more times. They're not looking too bad. They're looking pretty good. You're not going to see them that much once they're in the Ranger. I don't know if I'm going to get all three of them in there. I may only be able to get the one that's in the seating position. Here's the seats I did in flat black. They turned out really decent. And then the cockpit over here, I hit it with gloss black. I'm not going to worry too much about that seam there in the middle. Once it's in the Ranger, you're not going to see that. So I'm not going to go overboard with the floor. Back side here, you can see the other control panel. I'm going to use maybe some steel or aluminum or something around the control panels to bring it out some more and add some color to it. That'll be my next step. So I'm going to call this a wrap with what I did on the cockpit today and the astronauts and the seats. I'll take this upstairs here in a little bit and do some more work on it. Figured I'd share this with everybody. And everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger. What I'm going to be working on tonight is detailing the inside of the cockpit. I have some paint I'm mixing up. It's a steel number 4679 Model Masters acrylic. I got some more colors over here I'm going to use. A cobalt blue, regular blue, maybe Chrysler engine red. I got aluminum back here, and I also have some silver. So I'm going to go ahead and fiddle around with this and see what colors look good on the inside of the interior. The seats didn't turn out too bad. I may highlight them a little bit. The astronauts back here turned out pretty decent. I'll probably have to hit them a couple more times with some paint. This is not the high end that I got from Shapeways. This is like a low soft kind of resin. It's not flexible, but it's considered soft. I could have went with different type where it would have been a little bit stronger and probably a little bit more detail, but for what I'm going to use these guys for inside, it's going to look good enough. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on this. When I get done with the detailing, I'll film that, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger. I'm working on the cockpit today, applying the fiber optics, which you can see here. It looks like looks like spaghetti. I'm slowly applying glue to it. I noticed that using the tester's glue here is not affecting the fiber optics, which is good. You could probably use CA glue, but this seems to be working. It's not affecting the fiber optics. This is just a standard 5mm white LED. I still have to use the other two RGBs that I have, but I'm doing it at one step at a time. You can see the back here with the fiber optics. Once I get this all finished, I'll hook it up to some power and film it. But this probably take me all afternoon today to take care of this. But I want to show everybody what it looks like at first. It's slowly taking shape. Right here, where the where the LED is, I just hit it with some tulip to cover up the light leaks. Backside here, I got a few fiber optics coming out of here. So I think it's going to look pretty cool once it's all finished. So I figured I'd make this quick update. I'll continue working on this, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the Ranger, the cockpit I'm working on today. I already have the 5mm white LED with the fiber optics in the cockpit, plus I have the fast to slow already installed. You can see here on the bottom, fiber optics. I have it hooked up to some power. I got one more yet to go. I have to put this in. This is just a slow RGB 5mm with the fiber optics. I have to install on the cockpit here, but right now I'm going to turn the power on, turn the overhead light off, and everybody can get a look. I got it set at 12 volts. Looks pretty cool. I think it's going to really look awesome inside the Ranger. Tricky part is when I mount it in, is the fiber optics plus the three 5mm LEDs I'm going to have in the front of it. It should fit in the Ranger with no problem, but I think it's going to really look cool. What I can do is turn this around a little bit, bring the top of the Ranger, and everyone can get an idea what it's going to look like on the inside once it's all installed. It's going to look pretty cool. See the lights on the control panel is flickering. Figured I'd share this with everybody. I'm going to continue on working on this tonight. I'm going to finish up with the last RGB I got to install in the cockpit, and once I get that all done, I'll film that. So I figured I'd give everybody a look at this. It's really coming along, looking good. Hopefully that'll focus. It really look cool. Yeah, it focused right there. So I'm going to continue on working on this. Figured I'd share this with everybody, and everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update on the cockpit. I have all three of the LEDs hooked up to the cockpit and the fiber optics installed. I'll have to let this sit overnight before I can trim the rest of the fiber optics down to where they should be. I'm going to go ahead and hit the power, turn the overhead light off. I think it looks really cool. It's going to really look real good on the inside of the Ranger. With this idea I came up with, the fiber optics, and 2mm or two 5mm RGBs, one fast to slow and the other is slow, and then the straight white LED. And then I'm just going to take the top of the Ranger, put it on top here, So that's about how it's going to be once it's in everything's installed. I think it's going to look really cool. It's running off of 12 volts. And it really look really cool. I worked on this all day today. I finally finished it. Pretty happy with the results. Tomorrow I'll finish this up with the cockpit and install it in the bottom of the Ranger. So I figured I'd share this with everybody, what I've been doing with the cockpit for the Ranger. And everybody have a good day. Alright everybody, another update. I have the 2 astronauts in about where I'm going to have them. Plus the seats. What I'm probably going to have to do is take the tank off the one that's sitting. And just giving everybody an idea of what it's going to look like on the inside. Turn the overhead light off. I think it's going to look pretty cool. I don't know if that's focusing too good. But I may have to shorten the seats and work on the astronauts so they fit inside the Ranger, because I'm limited with room. But I think the idea, what I came up with, is going to look really, really cool. It's about how I want to have it. A couple astronauts on the inside. I think it's going to look really cool once it's all inside the Ranger. I just think the astronauts and the seats are, at least the seats are a little bit too tall. I'm going to have to shorten them up a little bit to fit. And then the astronaut right here, he's got that tank on his backside. May have to take that off so he sits better in the seat. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap for part 2. And once I get this on my computer, I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Everybody have a good day.